Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of If It Isn't Love podcast, take 2. I'm your host, Donisha, and
I'm your co-host, JL Woodson.
And we're happy to be back. And this episode is our last episode of 2020. So we're going to take a small mini break. I mean, when this airs, this airs on what?
Wednesday.
Which is the 16th. So today is the 16th. Of December. We'll be coming back on the 6th of January in 2021. So if you haven't heard all of our episodes, take this opportunity while we're on break to listen to the episodes that you missed. Watch them if you haven't seen us. Sometimes you get a totally different effect if you watch our videos on our YouTube channel, which is still If It Isn't Love podcast. You focus. If It Isn't Love podcast. And if you get to see other things like our vlog from when we went to Dallas, that's up. This one over here is getting his YouTube page all up. Is it the Woodson Creative Studio one or JL Woodson? It'll all be in the show notes. I'll put it in there. So do that. Also spend time with your family. All right. It's been a rough year virtually, or if you live with them. Y'all, we trying to slow the Rona down. So be safe. But just enjoy some time to relax. Indeed. So to end our season, we are going to do something that I think many probably productions, podcasts, everyone is talking about, lessons learned. And we're not doing resolutions necessarily. I mean, I believe in resolutions, but I don't believe in always having to do them
in the end of the year or waiting till the next year.
Yeah.
New year to do it.
Although I understand because I start if I do something like bad, if I'm eating bad on Saturday, I'm probably on Friday, I'm probably just going to wait till Sunday to even it out when the new week starts. So I kind of understand that it just feels different when it's fresh, right? New week. It's why I spent the time cleaning up yesterday, because I want to start my week off fresh. And I've been super productive today. I was up, dressed, showered, read a book, a lot. Made a meatloaf. So I'm excited. So we're going to talk to you guys about some of the lessons that we learned in 2020. And we can discuss them. I figured we would toggle back and forth. You say one, I say one. You say one, I say one.
Can you start me off?
Oh, I say one, you say one. You want to do it like that? Okay. So we're getting right into it. So I actually prepped for this. I don't know if I'm going to give you all of them. But one of the lessons that I learned in 2020 is if you change your perspective on things, your things will change. Or things will change. Let me try that again. If you change your perspective on things, those things will change. And so what I mean by that is it doesn't mean that the thing will change. But perspective sometimes is everything. And so if you change your perspective on certain things, it will help that thing change. It'll help change the significance or how that thing impacts you. So clearly we are in a parallelogram and it's a lot.
Hey, Alexa.
Don't leave Alexa. She's going to start talking. Stop.
Never
Alexa,
mind.
stop. She was confused. Get her started. I don't want to hear because she'll start listening to the whole conversation. She'll get confused. I don't want to get frustrated.
One at a time. One at a time.
Yes, exactly. So like I was saying, clearly we are in a Panda Express. And so since we're in one, it has just really made the year a lot different than we intended it to be, right? And I think that many of us collectively started the year off, or once it hit, right? Once COVID really started to spread across the world, we really got into a space where we started to kind of have a collective woe is me. And rightfully so, right? People were dying, people were getting sick. It got really crazy and it continues, right? I'm not saying that we're out of this thing completely, but I also think that the perspective is it also gave us a lot of things, right? Those of us who are workaholics and whatever probably never would have taken the kind of breaks just from things, right? Not even just work, because some people still have to work just as much, right? If you are in the healthcare field, if you're a doctor, especially, sometimes our doctors are even working even harder. But in some areas, it has forced us to take a break. And so perspective is it's giving us vacation. And I don't want to sound insensitive to people who have lost their jobs and things like that.
Right.
Just it's given us a break. And so I think that if you allow your perspective on it to change, I wanted space to really delve into my creative side and be able to do this. And I've, start my YouTube page and all those kinds of things. And I was struggling for the time to do that, right? While holding a full-time job where I had to, sometimes it's the small things when you have to be in an office, you can't do as many other things. I had a one-on-one with my boss this morning and we were having that conversation where we were just talking about, she was joking like, when did I do laundry before? She said that because, she does laundry in between meetings because she's in the house during the day. And she's always saying when she is in the office, she just thinks about all the stuff she could be doing if she were at home and also working. And I think that while we're in alternate operations, while we're not able to interact with one another in a physical space, because I think that is important, right? I think that interacting with people is important, but while we're not able to do it in the way that we would like to do it, then we should benefit from it in other ways. So I think that when you change your perspective, it's kind of like when people say there's no such thing as failures, just lessons learned. And I know it kind of sounds cliche, but those things are really important. It is true, right? Like you can just, in the suckiness of the panoramic, you still could say, well, look at me. Like, look at what opportunities there are in that.
Gotcha. I mean, for me, like this whole time since like the pandemic hit, and like for me, it's a little bit different because I am a freelancer. So a lot of the times I am working from home. I do have a job, but even like I've only been to that job one time in the building, and that was to move stuff out and organize everything. So a lot of the stuff that a lot of people were complaining about, as far as like having to stay home, like, yeah, I want to have the freedom to be able to go somewhere, or quarantine on my own terms. But a lot of the times I was always home working on design stuff. So I think it's kind of hard to like say like I was writing some stuff out, but it's like kind of hard to like write out a whole bunch of lessons learned because I'm still learning them or still working on them.
Just because it's a lesson, it doesn't mean you learned and you don't have to learn it anymore. It's just something that lessons learned is kind of like just a realization. Like, I realized this. It doesn't mean that you're finished learning it. I mean, you learn it at all. You can just be like, oh, I saw that. I saw that as a thing to learn.
I mean, one of the biggest things is find a workaround.
Okay.
Because like before, whenever I was trying to work on like photography or videography or even just design stuff, I was always like thinking like, well, I don't have this, I don't have that, and stuff and things like that. Like we don't have the biggest space to do all this stuff, but we're working around it and we're making it happen. And like even with this, like even just having the table out here and like not too many places to store it, find a workaround and see what you can make happen. I think that is something that I'm still continually working on, because as soon as I start thinking about stuff like to do for the podcast or do for your hair and makeup or even do for myself, I think like I get to a part where I'm like, it's just like, well, this can't happen. And then like an hour later, I'm like, okay, let me go back at it and see what I can actually work around it. It doesn't always happen, but at the same time, I basically have to force myself out of that.
You also suffer from perfectionism syndrome. I'm making that, I don't know if it's a syndrome, but you suffer from it. It's definitely a part of imposter syndrome. We could talk about that one day. You suffer from the perfectionist imposter syndrome. If it's not perfect, then I can't do it. You're getting better.
Yeah.
But you still be suffering.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even setting up this whole podcast, basically making sure everything is strapped down nice and tight, and make sure like we're at a decent distance from the microphone, and making sure the light is right, and unscrewing light bulbs behind us and whatnot. And it's just, I mean, I want stuff to look nice and everything like that, but also I have to get out of my mindset that things are going to be perfect, because like then I'm gonna look back at it like, oh, that could have been different. Oh, that could have been different. But I've dealt with that for like the longest.
Yeah.
So yeah, like even like this is one thing that I wish my mom wouldn't have taught me, or wouldn't have tried to instill in me, is like getting stuff done right the first time. If you don't know what you're doing, you're not gonna get it right the first time. So it's like, try by error, do what you need to do to figure it out. And yeah.
But getting it right, see, this is the thing. I don't think that that's a misstep in terms of a lesson to learn. I think getting it right the first time is a way. Getting it right the first time doesn't mean that it's perfect, though. Getting it right does not mean that there is not words. That there isn't space for improvement. Mm-hmm. And so that's what you do. You try to like knock out any room for any error or anything, which in some places that can work. If you're building an airplane, you want to build it where the margin of error is 0. But that's also just according to the plan we have. Mm-hmm. When we want to build a new plane, and we're like, well, we learned that this thing makes this plane better, mm-hmm. and will make the fly time shorter or make it glide better. I don't know airplane building terms, but whatever.
Where it spreads its wings.
Yes.
Their wings don't spread.
Well, whatever. Well, when we learned that, the methodology that we used for the building that first plane, mm-hmm. will not work for this new model. Mm-hmm. It does not mean that the methodology that we use to make the first plane is wrong. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't fit this. And I think even more so when you're in a creative space. Come on, I'm preaching now. You feel that thing about how you pass a collection plate in a minute. When you're in a creative space, doing it right doesn't mean that there isn't room for improvement. So sometimes you gotta just do it right. You focus on doing it perfect.
But that's the thing. But if you don't exactly know what you're doing, how are you going to do it right?
But that is right. It is right with the knowledge that you have. That's right. When you're teaching a kid how to tie their shoe, a lot of times people, because it's easier for where their skill set is, to do bunny ears. Mm-hmm. Kids can grasp 2 loops, tie loops, and pull. What's probably more effective in terms of tying your shoe is going to keep it tied longer, but requires a little more skill, is the 1 loop, wrap around, pull through, pull. Mm-hmm. But sometimes they don't have the skill set because of the dexterity of their fingers to do that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that the 2 bunny ears is not right. That is right. It's just a different methodology. But when they have a different skill set, mm-hmm. and they have the resources to do it, then they can do something different.
Okay. Bunny ears from now on.
I mean, yes. When that's where you are, right? When you think about, just like when you were helping me, I think sometimes you'll see something in somebody else, but you don't apply that to yourself. Mm-hmm. When you're helping me my videos and we were looking at some of my old original videos, right? I used what I had. Mm-hmm. I didn't have the skill set that you have, so I didn't have the knowledge that even some people have been using. We're talking about when I started my YouTube page back in 2010.
Okay.
I had the little camera I got from graduation. I would sit on top of some books, try to angle it right, didn't care. It was yellowish, crazy. But some of those videos got a lot of hits for that time. Mm-hmm. I didn't care. I was just trying to get the information out. I was just doing it. And now that I have you teach me stuff, we have a new skill set, new innovation is out that is within reach. Some of them cameras used to cost so much money. True. Now, I mean, even though the cameras cost so much money, they're connected to the phones. So it is so much. So it doesn't mean you don't do because you don't have, if I want to make a movie and I don't have access to a soundstage and actors and all that stuff, does that mean I don't do it? No, it means I can get on Instagram and make a reel, or I can, get on I can still do it within what I can do. Mm-hmm. Perspective.
Bunny ears.
Bunny ears. That's it. Bunny ears.
I mean, it do be facts though. I mean, I don't know. Like, I just think for myself, it's more so one of those things where it's like easier said than done.
Yeah.
Like trying to force myself out of that because it's like I literally have to catch myself doing it to myself.
Yeah.
And it's not fun because it's like that's where a lot of negative space happens, and I hate it. But like even trying to figure out all the stuff that we need to do for ourselves to basically be successful at this. Like I know it's not going to be to the production quality that, you know, everybody else does it, like that has like the big budget behind them and whatnot. But at the same time, for what we have, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Some of those people didn't have that when they started. That's the other thing.
True.
You sometimes, and I think all of us, we look at somebody's right now and we try to get there. And then we don't realize, well, if this person started and has been consistent for the last 5 years, let me look at their stuff from their month 2. Like if this is my month 2, I'm looking and we're trying to compare our month 2 to their year 7. Yeah, it's not going to be there. I don't care if the same technology is out there because now they have the resources. They have sponsors. We look at videos and like, yeah, I want to use this equipment, but they didn't, like, what if they didn't buy that? Sony bought that for them. Sony gave them that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, I don't have the $1,500 camera because Sony gave that to these people. So I'm going to use this iPhone. Okay, we're going to use the camera we already got to make it work. And it doesn't mean the quality. It just means we're not going to compare our month 2 to their year 7. Or wherever they are.
So we're gonna pass the creative offering plate, and then we're gonna have a creative altar call. Those of you can come to the floor. And
it's freshly vacuumed. That was our Christmas present, a vacuum cleaner.
Yes, we needed it.
I loved it. I was really enjoying myself vacuuming yesterday. Thank you.
Ooh, it swivels.
I was really excited. I need some freshener. I know you don't like the powder one. We need something to make it fresh. But I don't want to get on a tangent. Focus. Because I feel it happening. But yeah, like, and I say this to you, but because I say it to myself. Because I have to remind myself. Because honestly, and just being very transparent, if I had not been in my mind like, oh, I can't do it like this person. And I have been, if I can't do it like this person, then I won't do it. In terms of, if I had just kept doing what I was doing with my reviews and all that stuff when I started, the people who I see who get people to sponsor them, to give them stuff, and the way that I do it, and I know the influence that I can have, I would be there. I would have people sending me stuff in terms of beauty things. I wouldn't be, I would have it if I had stayed consistent. But because I fell into the trap of I don't have what they have, or I can't stay consistent, or this and this, and I got discouraged, and I let that discouragement make me quit. And not just take a break, and not just, you know, like you were talking about, like pivoting, right? Like I didn't allow it. I just let it make me quit. And I see people who do what I'm doing and where I want to, you know, get, and they just started a year ago and have thousands of followers who subscribe to them, who they have advertised, so they get advertising dollars. They have people who sponsor, who send them products and do all the kind of things that I'm trying to do in terms of getting brand deals and that kind of stuff. But they just put out, they just kept putting out content, right? So it's like sometimes you got to put it out and you don't get the kind of hits. And then likes don't necessarily translate into, you know, brand deals and product sales and things like that. You know, sometimes it can depend on what your following is and who you are and how you build your name. But I think about that, and I've gotten people who've been in my inbox, like wanting to send me product. We talked about that last night. I've had some people, but you know, like sometimes I have to be very leery, and I have to actually like the product, because if you're gonna send me something, you know, they wanted me to see this jewelry, but like what they were charging for the jewelry, it was actually funny because one of the bracelets they were gonna charge $30 for, I got like as a free prize in like it was like part of the jewelry that I got for my birthday, and it was like not that kind of money. They had a pair of earrings they were selling for like $40 that I know where I can get them same earrings for $3. So I, in good conscience, cannot promote that. And I get markup, but not, 700%. Like, not that.
Let's see. Yeah, that's like the only thing.
And I'm not going to advertise, get people to buy from them when I'm like, no, I tell you where to get this for $2.
Yeah. I mean, I think also that's another thing, even with the whole branding deals and all that stuff, like, or just even some of the stuff that I'm doing for myself. Like, I'm learning to believe in myself a little bit more because of the fact before, like, even for the grass wall video and whatnot, I basically plug different products and everything like that for that video. But before, I would have been like, who gonna listen to me about this stuff? Like, who's gonna listen to me and buy stuff from such and such place to get the grass wall?
People who want to know how to put up a grass wall, and that's why they went on YouTube to figure out how to put it up.
True, but that's what I'm saying. Before, I didn't believe in myself in that way. I didn't have the confidence in I'm still working on it, but I feel like that's one of those things that I'm learning, or that I learned that I need to improve on. So a lot of the stuff that, like, as far as lessons learned, or is stuff that I'm working hard to improve on, even just recently. Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Even in that, in terms of that perfectionist complex, I'm telling you, because it's something I still have to remind myself. I have to remind myself, put the video out, put the post out, and reading that book, Show Your Work. What's his name? Austin Kleon. Is that
Kleon?
Okay. Yeah. That's the book I read today, and it really, like, in terms of, if you're a creative, if you consider yourself an artist, I really would say anyone who has a product they want to give out, it's really like that thought of, like, show your work, do something, like, put it out and make it relevant to what you do. And so if my product is my life, if it is, beauty, if it's that, then it means that, like, I have to put something out, and it doesn't have to be perfect, right? When I was combing my hair this morning, I realized that I need to wash my hair, and I was like, well, but I got stuff to do, so let me gel it up, put this braid on, and do my makeup and do what I need to do. And I'm not gonna not put out put out what I said I was gonna do because I felt like I wasn't ready. I got as ready as I could. It's still a good look. It's just, it may not be what I know I could produce. Right. If I, had washed my hair, if I did this, but I didn't have time for that. But I'm not gonna not do because it is not perfect. But then but in that is perspective. What I got from that was, all right, when you want to do this, then you plan ahead to say, like, oh, what do I need to do to prep for this? So now I know, like, I know that in a crunch, I can make it work. And it's fine. And if I don't tell people this, they don't know. They just think this is what she wanted to put off, and she looked good. That's it. But then I know that if I want this to look like this, then this is how I have to prep for it.
It do be facts, though. I mean, okay, and that's another thing that I'm learning, because even with me working on the videos and whatnot, before, like, when I tried to do it before, like, as far as putting out content on YouTube and whatnot, I never planned. I never prepared anything. I didn't write down like an outline or anything like that. So I will say, like, just most recently, like, writing out an outline, preparing for all these things that we're doing, writing out our list of topics that we want to talk about and whatnot. That's basically helped. Absolutely. Because, like, the ginkgo biloba then flushed out my system and stuff like that. So we memory just be gone.
It been gone. Continue with your thought, if you can remember. Do you not remember?
I don't even want to talk no more.
Bueller.
I literally forgot.
I know you did. I knew you did. I was like, he don't remember what he was saying.
Preparation. H. Preparation, right? Yeah, it was preparation.
Yes, because you do, like, outlines and stuff like that, like how that's helped.
Yes. That was the end.
Oh my God. Okay. That's good. Anything else on that? Do you have a lesson? Or you did your lesson? Was that your lesson? Was that your lesson?
I had like 2.
I don't think so. I don't think you had like 2.
That was 2.
No, you
Preparation. And the one before that.
No, you piggybacked off mine. Okay.
I segued.
Oh, okay. So the next one that I have, I'm going to say something that I've realized is just because it's always been done that way doesn't mean that it's right. And I think I look a lot at my 9 to 5 and I see us have been having the ability to alter, we literally call it alter operations, how we're operating, working outside of the office for a long time up until, was it mid-July? No, it was when the school year started because we went back for a minute in July, like a day a week. But then it was really like in August or September, we started going back to the office. But before that, we were 100% working from home. Enrollment had been down a little bit. Like contact hours had been down. I work in the educational system. Contact hours had been down. But I mean, because we're not in person and the classes that were in person had to be in a socially distanced environment, meaning you have less people, blah, blah, blah. But enrollment overall for institutions our size was up. With all of that, our board decided that we would go back to the office, all full-time staff, minimally 50% of the time. What our department or what our division is what it is, because I have a department within the division. What our division decided was that meant that we would be there at least 3 days, just to not cut it down and for it to be weird, 2.5 days, that we would be there 3 days a week in office. This is despite the fact that all my interactions with students are virtual. This is despite the fact that all my interactions with my colleagues are virtual. People want you to go into the office just to meet virtually. And because we had spent so much time out of the office, the home office was already set up to accommodate. The only thing I don't have here that I had in my office, and right now I don't have because my dock died and broke. It just died. There were like a lot of those happen. My docking station.
Thank you for clearing that up. What? Like your doctor died?
No, why are you talking about my doctor?
I have no idea.
My docking station. So I had 2 monitors and here I only have 1. But at work now, I only have 1 because it doesn't work. The setup doesn't work. So everything else, like we got a printer, I can scan, I can do everything that I could do in office in terms of the technology here. And I say all that to say people are trying so hard to go back to normal.
Right.
That we don't realize some of the inefficiencies in what was normal. And yes, people think about Zoom. We have had access to Zoom forever. Not forever, for a long time. For years. I've used Zoom for different meetings or some kind of video conferencing, Skype, whatever you use, you've had something forever. But now that it has become a necessity, we use it more. But people are, and I still think that there needs to be some I think that there's value in in-person interaction. But I also think about how many more people you can get in, the voices you can get into a room, the ideas you can get to collaborate when everybody doesn't have to be in the same physical space because it requires like the traffic, and it doesn't matter. The talent pipeline for a business opens up when it's not contingent on you being in the same space. That means I can get somebody to work for me if the majority of the workload is virtual, who lives in California, who lives in Chicago, who lives in San Antonio, who lives in Florida, wherever. And it doesn't matter. And I think that we are trying so hard to say like we want to go back to normal, but just because that's the way we did it doesn't mean one that it's right or that it's the only way to effectively do stuff. And I think that's just one of that's just one of the things that, you know, the quarantine and all of this time has really taught me. Like, we can do things differently. It don't have to be done the way we've always done it. And I always think that's and I think that when I look at any process, when I go into places, especially when I start a new job and I ask people why we do it that way, people say we've always done it. That's my first indicator that something is wrong.
Yeah.
Because even if it's right, you should be able to say it's done this way because X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, and why it's efficient, why it works for our customer base, why X. If you tell me, oh, it's because we've always done it this way, that don't tell me that how it's beneficial to your program, to your organization, or whatever.
Times have changed. Times change all the time.
All the time. All the time. So that's why it really has taught me that, you know, people it's forced us to really look at how we do things. And so I've learned that lesson, and it's really made me just look at how I do things and as a person, and, you know, why do I do things that way?
I hear you. I definitely need to focus more on that as well, especially because, like, one thing in, like, graphic design or even just videography, like, there's a million ways to do something in graphic design, and like no way is right. No way is, like, better than the other. Some are more efficient, but at the same time, like, it still gets the result done. Okay, so another one of my lessons learned has to deal with cutting off people.
Okay. Get to cutty.
Well, okay, because I've always, like, I don't have a big circle of family, and I don't have a big circle of friends. I have people who I have communication with, like, come in contact with, and we became, like, friendly and whatnot. But I'm like, okay, I want to hold on to this. I want to, you know, see if, like, you know, this friendship will work and everything like that. Because, like, you know, everybody's going to have a difference of opinion and whatnot. 2020 definitely brought out a lot of differences of opinions that I just could not agree with, mostly surrounding this election and the presidency and whatnot. And it's okay to start distancing yourself. It's okay to start, like, cutting back or cutting off people because of the fact, like, everybody wants me, well, it's freedom of speech and everything like that. I'm like, no, like, your views align with somebody who is, you know, not necessarily the greatest, like, he's a terrible person. Like, what about this person is, like, touching you in the heartstrings and whatnot, like in your ideals and whatnot. And it was, like, always frustrating to, like, see like, not even just the election, just surrounding, like, you know, cultural events or not events, but, like, things that have happened, like, as far as, like, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor.
Racism summer. It was also because this was racism summer.
Pretty much. And it's like, you see people who just don't want to see, or people who really just don't care. And it's like, why should I care to even be your friend? Or, like, regardless of whether they're family or not, like, I'm like, dude, like, I'm gonna have to, like, distance myself from you, especially if you're allowing certain things to happen and not have a real opinion about it.
Yeah.
Like, where's the humanitarian part of you? So I've learned to, like, start distancing myself from people, or even just cutting them off.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and I think the people know, if anybody knows me well enough, that is not a problem for me. I am my number one. I'm my number one priority, and we can have a difference of opinion on
Tacos versus pizza.
I'm about to say best chicken. You know, Popeyes versus KFC. We can have that conversation. We can debate. We can be on opposite sides of that. Racism, we can't be on the opposite side of that.
Right.
We can't be on the opposite side of issues that directly affect my livelihood. We can't. And I don't care to be, because either one or two things. You say you don't necessarily align with this, but, you know, this piece of thing thing, you don't see why this person's such a bad person, and oh, I get that, but he's not really that bad. So you're either one of two things. You're either actually racist or you're stupid. Either one of those two people I don't want to associate myself with. I don't want to be around racist people or stupid people. Willfully stupid people. Let me say that.
It's kind of hard to...
Willfully stupid people in terms of like racism and this blatant ignorance. And I don't entertain that. I don't have no room for that in my life. Like, you know, I want you to be like, oh, you the kind of stupid that, you know, you think that the Underground Railroad had a actual train. But you still believe like there was an Underground Railroad. Free the slaves. That's a good idea. I can do with that kind of stupid. That's just like, and that's just a reference to Portia from Housewives, who originally thought that. That's like a whole thing. How now she's doing all the protesting and all that. Yeah, and she really thought that. And her grandfather was like a civil rights leader, and Hosea Williams. But she even jokes about it now. How naive and stupid she was, and like, but now she's like, you know what I did? I read and I learned stuff.
Of people wanting to do better and wanting to like, wanting to gain that knowledge. Like I can't like, okay, so there was one of my friends who's basically like definite Trump supporter and whatnot. Well, I will say ex-friend. And we had this conversation about like, cause it was around the time George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, all that stuff was happening with the protests and everything like that. And I guess it was also because like in their area, that's where the protests were coming, and they made like this most stupid comment and post about it. And so I posted something on my story in regards to it, and he basically came in my inbox basically talking about, it was along the lines like, I don't understand why this, that, and the other. Like, why can't people just stay in the house? Why can't people just let the judicial system do what it does?
Because like, it's fucked up,
bruh. Like,
what it does is
the judicial system is not necessarily the best, especially
the
when
judicial system kills us. That's what it does.
And then on top of that, it was I was like, okay, have you even researched any of these things like that's happening with Breonna Taylor, with George Floyd, with anybody, even just Tamir Rice? Have you researched any of this stuff to see like why people are mad? They have not read an article. I'm like, bruh, we done.
And see, this is what I don't even. You went way farther than I would. One, I don't have people like that on my friends.
I didn't even
like,
know.
If I know you're a Trump supporter, one, I'm not. You would never see my story to be able to refute what I said, because once I know that you say this kind of stuff, I don't got no argument. You just delete it. And then if you come in my inbox saying something, I'm gonna read, laugh, and delete. I'm not responding to that. I'm even in a space where I don't feel the necessity to educate white people or uninformed people. More white people who want to know what they need to do or how they can help, who are good white people, they need to do that. I'm tired. And maybe I'll feel different in a few years. I don't feel that different right now. I'm tired. I'm not here to educate. I'm not here to educate nobody. If there is maybe a black person who's like, what more can I do? Or I want more resources and information. But it's more white people who are allies need to tell their white friends and their white family members how to do it. And black people who, or people, black people and other people of color who are related to white people. And I got like 3 white people in my circle, and only one like that's like really my friend that, and she about it. So I'm just not in a point in my life where that's, and when I know when people are like, well, just be blessed outside of my space, but also no, don't be blessed. Okay. A pox on your house. Yes. Dishonor to you, dishonor to your...
All right, that's it. Dishonor on your whole family. Make a note of this. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
Everybody. I don't know. I don't care.
I mean, that was the thing. I didn't even like... Even when Trump came into presidency, a lot of people in my circle weren't even bold enough to say that they voted for him. And then it seemed like this year alone, the people who did vote for him that were in my circle, just start coming out loud and proud. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude.
And I'm gonna treat you. I'm gonna disrespectfully. Fuck you. Like, that's how I feel. Like, I ain't being nice to nope. That's why it's even the person who I work with, who she even told someone else, like, I just feel like people here don't like me. Now, I don't treat you wrong. You know, I'm not going to mistreat you in terms of work, but I don't talk to you. I don't need to do anything with you. And if it's not work related and it's not, we have to do it because our checks rely on it, I don't need to talk to you, and I'll do it myself. And that's how I feel 100%. Unapologetically, disrespectfully forget you, lady. I don't care. Okay. Was that yours?
Yeah, that was mine.
I'm gonna just do one more. Which one is okay? I think I'm going to do take a damn break. That's what I learned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Collection plate, where you at?
Cause ever since the paradigm started, I just really feel like it's been difficult to, you know, feel like everyone still wants to feel productive.
Yeah.
And I think that for those of us, like I said in the beginning, who are really workaholics, and when I say work, I don't even mean like the office or wherever. Oh, bite your finger. I don't even mean I don't even mean the office or anything. I just mean, you know, I'm the person who will find a thing to do. I'm creative like that.
What a collection plate that is.
Shut up. I'll find a thing to do. I'm never without things to do. Now, even if I'm doing nothing, that's the thing I'm doing. Or if I'm doing nothing, I'm probably just making a list of the things that I will be doing shortly. Shut up. So, what the paradox really taught me was it's okay to take a break. And it is a lesson that I will say for me is hard learned. It's still something I struggle with daily because I think I, as a person, as a Black woman, as a child who grew up in poverty and a lot of, you know, adversity, overcoming it, relaxing feels like laziness. It's not rewarded. And so even though I would like to believe in the idea of, you know, spoiling myself and luxury and having good things and taking a break, I believe it in a very theoretical way, but it's hard to believe it in a practical way because relaxing feels like being unproductive and it feels bad. So it's hard to, in my body, make myself not feel bad about taking a break. Even when and it's crazy because as much as I like and it sounds crazy, when I get my nails and stuff done, it is difficult because a few things come back. One, I spent this day like getting my nails and feet done. So I've wasted how many hours? And on top of that, the money that I spent that could go into something better. I am unlearning it. So I do it. And as soon as those thoughts hit my head, I'm like, girl, take a break. Enjoy this. Huh?
STFU.
What? Shut the F up? Yeah, that's what I try to tell that voice. Like, enjoy this. Like, and so relaxing, and you're laughing and making your comments because I don't relax well. You don't look at America. That's my job to look at America about you. But I'm trying, and I could see Lauren looking like she showed out. Like I try, I really do try to relax.
Like you've gotten better at it. I will say that much. Like I do. Like it's not. I enjoy when you go get your nails and your feet done just because I want you out the house or anything.
She's like, I want you out the house, and I want you to stop scratching me with your claws.
I like seeing you and how it looks, how it looks like it makes you feel. Like, I don't know exactly how it makes you feel, but like you look happy when you get your nails done and whatnot.
It does make me happy.
So,
right before the guilt hits.
But I mean, both of us have this thing a little bit bad. Like, I don't have it as bad only because like this freelance stuff and even just the job that I have isn't necessarily as tasking. It's not it's like I'm also having to find a balance where I'm like, yo, like, okay, get this stuff done, relax. Get this stuff done, relax. It's like, relax, stuff done, relax. Okay, I forgot to do something. Stuff done. Whereas you, like, you work, and I'm like, sit down somewhere. Like, go. Just be free or something. But nah, cause like even in like I consider, even though this is fun for us, like you watch stuff on YouTube and everything like that. I watch stuff on YouTube, but it's also research and it's technically work. And we fall down this whole rabbit hole of YouTube videos and whatnot. Next thing you know, hours and hours and hours have went by versus us actually getting stuff done, or at least myself. So that's where I feel like that's where it comes into play for me, because I'm not as much of a workaholic as you, but
it feels really judgy over here.
No, because in a way, like, okay, America, she gets shit done.
First of all, don't talk to America. Oh yeah, I talk to them.
Anyway, but no, you get stuff done, and it's like, now when it comes to like, shoot, you'd be ready to clean up a whole house. Yeah, keep that in. Keep that water in.
That's also just, again, we talked about how we grew up.
True. But yeah.
But I focus so much better. Like, I got up this morning and when Lauren, she even texted me this morning, she was messing with me and she was like, Jill, you been working today or not? Because sometimes we're joking, like, girl, I ain't did nothing. But I got up, drank my coffee, read a book, took another shower, combed my hair, did a full face of makeup, did a review of the book I made, still took the picture that I wanted, posted, went to conference sessions, sent the emails I was supposed to take, approved time, had a one-on-one with my boss, and made a meatloaf. All before 3 p.m.
I just entered an event and worked and then set this podcast up.
But that was because, like, when I got up, I am really of the
made eggs.
You did. I washed dishes twice. Like, I really feel like what it is when I walk into a space that is clean, it's like a blank canvas. Mm-hmm. So an organized space is a blank canvas, and it's saying, do work in me, be productive in me, live. And that's how I feel. So like sometimes if I go in the space is messy, I'm just like figuring out how to teeter around, and then I want to like bullshit and stuff like that. And that's why like I've been kind of like clean up and like why I like watch this before I went to bed, because I wanted to wake up to a clean house. And I feel like I have been a little bit in vacation mode, but I mean, just in transparency, I've said this before, because I suffer from depression, and I don't know if it's like the weather change or the seasons, like with the holidays, missing family, all that. I've been feeling the urge to fall into a depressive episode. And so I've been trying not to. And so I haven't completely, but like we talk, like I've had moments where I just like, I feel sad, nothing's wrong, but I don't feel good. So I feel my depression starting to really weigh heavily on me. But when I know what I'm saying, like, all right, girl, and then it makes me want to keep eating bad. So I'm just like, no, today we're going to do this. And if you're in a clean space, it just helps my mind. And I need to sometimes give my mind that kickstart. I need to give my mind that space to say, we can be free here. We can be happy here, which is why it seems like nothing to some people, but like being in an organized space really is important to me, because it really has a huge psychological effect on how I'm able to do things. Right. But also like, it doesn't, I'm also learning how to break. So I'm like, we did this is cool. And, I've been productive enough today where if I did nothing else today, which I still have a few other things I like to do, just a few. If I did nothing, and some of them are relaxing. I want to steam my face. I'm deciding if I'm going to go work out or not. I probably should because I haven't in like 2 weeks, week and a half. And so I'm, but I've done enough that if I didn't do any of that, I feel productive, which makes me feel good, which makes me feel like, okay, we can do this again tomorrow. Probably we can feel productive.
I see me as even last night when I brought out the green screen stuff, I literally had to stop myself to not do that. Like, I think because we basically have totally separate work lives and everything. At least that's how I view it. Because like one, your job is like super full time and they're always requiring stuff. Mine, yeah, it's not as hectic or anything like that, or even just more. It's more so I have tasks to do, done. That's it. But when it comes to like graphic design, it's like, okay, I get a client, I start my process, going through all different things. Then I'm like, okay, well, now what? I've done enough stuff for today that I can just move on to something else. And then I started thinking about all the, like, everything else that I could possibly do or possibly learn how to do. Like learning how to do stuff in this situation, like learning how to set up for podcasts or any of the videos that we want to do. I have to learn how to do it because I don't know it. Like, so I consider that work as well. Just don't know how to quantify that, I guess. I don't know.
I don't think that's I don't think that's a bad thing, and I don't think there's anything wrong. Like I said, I want to be productive, but I'm also learning how to take a break. I'm learning how to say, like, I like this thing relaxes me, but without it like causing me to go down a rabbit hole. Yeah, sometimes I watch other influencers and stuff on YouTube because that gives me ideas, but I'll do it while I'm doing something. But I also start like doing stuff like watching Kitchen Nightmares episodes that I've seen already while I do my hair and makeup, so that it's kind of like it's my time to relax while I'm getting ready for my day or to do the things that I need to do. But I'm learning more and more how to relax. I'm learning more and more how to do things that are, and again, especially when you're delving into a space where the job that you want to have and the work that you do is your life,
right? Then
it's a lot of me working on separating the me from the me that I put online and that I put out into the atmosphere, and just like doing things that are like, oh, this is just for me. And like sometimes there's a lot of overlap, right? Like I'm doing a video or something or a vlog about self-care, but in that I'm doing self-care, but putting that together is, and self-care doesn't mean just like bubble baths and manicures. I believe that part of like having discipline is self-care. Like sometimes I care about myself enough to make sure that I stay on task and do the things that are going to make me feel good. Sometimes cleaning up for me is self-care because I know, again, like when I know that a clean house is going to make me put me in a better headspace and to do things, it's self-care. It is the opposite of that for me to, allow my space to not be what I need it to be to keep my brain healthy and stuff like that. So, but again, I'm learning how to just take a break, to relax.
Yeah.
And relax looks different for different people.
I think for the most part, the reason why, I guess, even though I'm still reminding myself to not to overwork myself, because what I consider just regular work and what basically happens with you, like I always think like that's technically overwork, which I'm like, okay, some people have the threshold for that.
You think I overwork?
A lot. But no, the only reason why I say that is because like there was a point in time where I was like always working, always putting my job and putting my freelance stuff like in front of everything else, not really going out at all. And then I ended up in the hospital because I didn't focus on my health at all. Like I wasn't getting any sleep and I didn't realize
Well, we know that's not a problem for me. Because I sleep.
I understand that. But no, I'm just saying like that's where I think that's where I learned that lesson, because like the fact I wasn't sleeping because I was always trying to make sure I was productive, because if I wasn't productive, I wasn't getting paid. And then it's, dehydrated and exhausted.
Yeah.
And passed out at my job, like on the floor.
Well, I don't have that problem. I mean, I already had the part when I let my job overwork me and I started having regular anxiety attacks. And I haven't had this problem at this job. I stopped doing that before I moved to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
My last job before I moved to Houston, I allowed them that job to weigh heavily. And I said, I'll never do this again. Not for somebody else's paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm that tired, you better believe I have a lot of money coming in. But also my goal and my focus now and into the new year is really working on my passive income, about the money I make when I'm not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, because the money that you make while you're having to work is finite. You can only work so many hours a day. And if all of your money is tied into you having to physically work hours to make it, it puts a cap. And I don't want that kind of cap on my income. So I need to figure out my passive income, how I'm making money when I'm not working, how my money is working for me. And that is my focus, because I know where I want to be and I know the kind of things that I want to do. So I'm learning how to take a break, because I think that's important. It's important for productivity to break, to relax. It's important for productivity, good productivity to step back and reevaluate and see how things going, so that you're not burnt out. So that, and for me, working hard and working smart doesn't mean working myself to death.
Right.
And that no sleep mentality is not me. And sometimes, doesn't mean I stay up late to finish something. Doesn't mean I'm going to get up really early to do something. Yeah, but it doesn't mean like that's my way of life. It also might mean I got up late or I went to bed early, but I took a nap sometime during the day. So like it means that too. Naps. It means organizing myself so that I'm like, look at my schedule. All right, I'm not going to squeeze this other thing in here today. That can move to tomorrow or to the day after, because I have enough going on today. And making space for relaxing. But it's funny, this is my last point, that you said that, because I think sometimes I'd be like, I'm gonna take a break, and you'll be like, you wanna come edit this video? You got these videos you need to edit. And I'm like,
I didn't realize you were taking a break.
So if I'm just sitting on the couch flipping, playing a game or whatever, you'll be like, and I'm like, yeah, I know I gotta do this, but I'm just trying to sit here. But I also feel like, yep, you know what, that has to get done. And so like, here I am. That's my favorite part about working at home. It's harder when you have to be in a space all day, and then it's like, I gotta record, or I gotta do this when I come home. Not that I don't want to, but I'm tired. Especially when you're on camera, or like you're in a camera in a space all day, and now you gotta do it over.
Like, hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is the wig. Do what you will with that information.
Exactly. So I'm getting better at the balance of it all, making sure again that I'm producing, that I feel comfortable. But again, like I also feel like there's a shift in just how I'm what my life looks like and the things that I want. And so I'm at this place where I feel reinvigorated, because I feel like I'm willing to put in that extra work to get to where I need to be. But also I'm not in a place, I'm too old to be trying to, and I'm not saying like I'm an old lady, but I'm not making some of the mistakes and the team no sleep and I sleep when I'm dead. No, I'm gonna sleep now.
Naps are real.
I mean, so I'm gonna do that now, right? So I've learned a lot this year, and I'm really, really, as crazy as I'm excited for 2021, even starting 2021, well within a paradox. I'm still like we're in the middle of a paragraph when 2021 starts, and I don't have, I still feel like so much can come from it, and I'm like, all right, what you got 2021?
Why would you say that? Fix it. Why would you say that?
Let me not say that before it be like,
I'm calling it the end.
Dun, dun, dun.
What's that, Planet of the Apes? And then Caesar come over here riding on a horse. At this point, but who knows? By the 21st, Black people are supposed to have superpowers. Did you read that? Did you read that?
What?
I don't know. Did you read that? Have you guys heard that? They said in 2021. Have you not heard that?
We have melanin. What else?
No, black. Did you not hear about that? Black people super powers. I don't know where this came from, but somebody said on the 21st of December. So what is that? Is that Monday? Why Black Twitter is ready for superpower 21st.
I did not hear about that. That's funny. But
I don't know where this came from. Oh, it's from the winter. Superpower reparations are hitting the Black community. I don't know where this came from, but then like what's Black Twitter?
Oh, that's from what's the Watchmen?
Yeah, so Black Twitter comes up with all this stuff. I don't know why it is, but somebody wrote this whole article about how, you know, Black people are gonna come into our superpowers. So then people start getting on Twitter like guessing what their superpower is gonna be. The 21st. Camille even did like a poll on her Insta stories where she says, how many of y'all really think that we're gonna have superpowers on the 21st? I'm trying to see something. And I voted no, but if we do, I won't be surprised. I'd be like, well.
Like, you know, 2020 then threw some curveballs at us and threw some very big surprises.
So, okay. Last question as we wrap up our episode. If you woke up on the 21st with a superpower, what would you want it to be and why?
That's a tough one. I've always, like, even when I was a kid, that was a tough one because I'm like, do I want to have the power to be invincible? Do I want immortality? Do I want be able to shoot electricity out my hand?
Oh, this world is trash. So immortality is definitely not on my list. I want to die at some point.
But you got to realize I was a kid when I thought about
Yeah, I want to be going at some point.
Or super strength, or do I want to be able to fly and whatnot? So that's a tough one. It would have to be grouped with a whole bunch of stuff.
No, you only get one. You got to pick it. Come on.
Invincibility, maybe.
Is that a superpower?
It can be.
Invincible, like I'm invincible. That's not.
No, like invisible.
Words. They mean stuff.
Okay, so that's invisibility.
Huh? What?
You said.
It's like axe and ass.
No,
I said it wrong.
Those are two totally different words, right? You said invincibility, like I'm invincible.
But I couldn't say it right. I have to actually say it like, you know, axe versus ass.
So you want to say invisibility?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey man, it's this accent. Anyway.
No, what accent? Your Chicago accent?
The Chicago accent. You know, we country as hell.
No, anyway. You just said that. You just said the wrong word. That's what that was.
But, okay.
Okay, why invisibility?
I don't know. Like, I guess sometimes I don't want to be seen like in certain places. Mm-hmm. Like, or if like, you know, like say if something was happening, like, you know, a crime was happening and everything like that, I could just turn invisible and then go fuck them up and then come back about my day. Mm-hmm. There I stopped the crime.
Okay.
Or I don't know, like I guess that's part of it. Other, like if I have to have a second one.
No,
please,
you only get one. Okay, what's your second?
I'll be able to fly.
Okay. But if you're invisible, why you gotta fly? If you're invisible, why you need to fly?
Well, being able to fly get places faster.
Not. Will your arms be tired?
Fly?
Yeah.
No, like Superman fly.
I know. I just feel like that's a lot.
Why would my arms be tired?
You don't know how you gotta. What you gotta.
I don't want to fly. I'm like, no, I don't want to fly as far as flapping my arms. What about you?
My first one actually would be invisibility. Mm-hmm. I thought about, but I feel like invisibility just gives you access to so much. If I'm invisible, I can fly. I can get on whatever plane I want. Can't nobody see me. I can go wherever I want to go because no one can see me. I'm rich because I'm not gonna lie. If I was invisible, I'd probably be a criminal too. Because I didn't
want to say that.
I'm gonna tell you because I'm going to the bank vault. I'm going to the bank vault. I'm gonna go stand over people's shoulders at craps games or whatever. However you could cheat. I'm gonna do something where I'm like I'm gonna be able to get some money. I'm gonna be able to get some insider track because I'm gonna sit in meetings and find information.
I'll mess with people say like, this is your conscience.
If I'm invisible, I can hire myself for jobs. Like this is what I'm just saying. If I'm invisible, all the equipment you want, I'm getting it. Head to Best Buy, invisible. But I just feel like it opens the doorway. But if I wasn't able to be invisible, then I hope on the 21st, I wake up with the power to see the future. Only if, because those superhero shows always have some kind of caveat. Like you can see into the future, but you can't benefit from it. I only want to know lottery numbers. Everything else, I don't care. But like I would like to see into the future, but I want to be able to control it. Like, I don't want to just be able like, I touched this and I have a premonition. Like, I want to be able to be like, I can see.
Oh,
what's
like
the
Professor X without like
yeah.
with the helmet and shit.
Yeah. I want to be able to like read minds, but not just read minds, like see into the future. Like, I want to be able to be like, I could guess what the lotto finna be. I'm only going to do that a few times, But, my sister, I'm going to send her some numbers. That's what I want. So, And in what is in like a week and a half, who knows? In a week we might have superpowers. So I mean, here's to that. Here's to hoping. The way 2020 is going, why not? Why not give me superpowers? But I feel like all Black people don't need it.
It do be facts though.
There has to be a hierarchy of superpowers.
Like, nah, bro, we gon' you can't have this superpower.
Yeah.
Because you would be bad.
Yeah.
You would be terrible.
So if that's the case, I might not get invisibility. So, because the Lord will be like, girl, bye. You ain't finna be. But that would be a cool one. Like you could travel to so many places and
True.
Free travel. I think about that. I'm really like feeding for a trip too. Got the shakes.
Yeah.
Got the fries.
That's like that Facebook post you posted.
Man, I really feel that way.
Like,
I need to be on the beach, y'all. Okay. That's all I got. What you got? That's it?
That's it for me. Do you want to do the ending or you want me to do the ending?
You want to do the ending?
You can do it.
Thank you guys for joining us this first season. Yay, we finished our first season. I know it's been short. It's only 9 episodes, 8 episodes, something like that.
This is
10. No, we didn't post one of them. So they don't know about that one. So thank you guys so much for joining us on this ride. It's been great. A little intro to who we are and everything. And I'm really excited about next year. And season 2 is going to be bigger and better. If you have missed any of the episodes, fear not. You can follow us wherever you get your podcast. So whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Pocket Casts, all that. And wherever you get your podcast, go ahead and rate us 5 or better. The highest one they got, or don't bother. Also, you feel free to follow us on YouTube if you want to see our beautiful faces while you listen to us. You can follow us on YouTube at If It Isn't Love Podcast. We also have individual YouTube pages. Mine is The D Renee, where I do everything beauty, hair, makeup, lifestyle, skincare, all those kinds of things. And my partner here, you can catch him on JL Woodson on his YouTube page where he does a lot of techie stuff. He did a video about our grass wall.
How to
tutorials.
Photography, videography, and techie stuff.
Techie shit. Right, it's great. So follow us on our individual and collective journeys. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at If It Isn't Love Podcast. We would love for you guys to be a part of the If It Isn't Love Podcast family. I've enjoyed this. Thank you guys so much. We hope you have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Merry or Happy Kwanzaa, and of course, a Happy, Happy New Year. Stay up. 2020 is nuts.
Peace.
It's all because of you.
Are we high-fiving? Are we playing?
You make my dreams come true, yeah. It's all because of you, because of you, because of you.
Nerd.
All right.
Oh my God. Stupid cough. I shouldn't have swallowed that, but I did. That's what she said. I beat you.
I wasn't sure if it was appropriate.
It's very inappropriate.